Decision 2024, the Indiana primary is now just a few weeks away. We're going to be voting on a new governor, a new lieutenant governor, and a new attorney general.
And as Emily Longnecker shows us tonight, voters have key issues they want leaders to tackle.
When we talk to Hoosiers, two issues they want state leaders to look at are crime and housing. So we went to the people who advocate to state leaders on both of those fronts.
Our top issues have been this.
Rick Snyder, the president of the Indianapolis Fraternal Order of Police, says an officer shortage is one of the main issues the city faces.
We can only do what we have the people to do.
That's the message the FOP hopes to convey with this billboard on Interstate 70, that more police officers are needed. According to IMPD, the city's budget funds 1,743 officers. The department is now down 266 officers at a time when the city has reinstituted a curfew for the city's youth, hoping to address the rise in juvenile homicides and shootings. Snyder says part of the problem is a broken juvenile justice system in Marion County.
Oftentimes when arrests are made of juvenile offenders, even for crimes of violence, they're not being detained or even accepted at the juvenile detention facility. So we've called for changes to be made on that front.
Snyder also wants lawmakers to hold judges accountable. Recently, the FOP spoke out after Elijah Dorsey was sentenced to, quote, time served in the killing of IMPD officer Breanne Leith.
I think with recent court decisions that have occurred in Indianapolis, people on both sides of the aisle have come forward and said we need to put in some additional guardrails.
Despite statistics that show a double-digit drop in homicides over the last 3 years in Marion County, Snyder calls that semantics.
You're still exceeding 200 homicides a year. There's been a lot of attempts to play word games and semantics, talking about criminal homicides versus non-criminal homicides. The point is still this, is that you have deaths that are occurring, and I think that anyone would agree that one is too many.
Homicides spiked during the pandemic, so did home prices. But while homicides have been falling in recent years, housing costs in Indiana have climbed, up more than 50% over the past 5 years. Rental costs are up too.
So there's something happening in Indiana that's out of step with the rest of the Midwest.
Andrew Bradley is the policy director for Prosperity Indiana, which works to provide affordable housing in communities across the state.
We don't have enough supply of affordable and available housing.
Bradley says that's in part because the housing across the state has deteriorated because local governments can't enforce health and safety standards.
In 2020, the Indiana General Assembly basically took away almost every tool from cities and counties and towns to be able to strengthen housing health and safety standards on their own. So that is something that's taken out of their hands, and this next set of policymakers could put it back.
Housing advocates have called on the current administration to appoint a commission on housing safety and affordability.
And whether it's this governor or a future administration, that work needs to move forward if we're going to see solutions.
With an upcoming legislative budget session in 2025, Bradley says it's a chance to invest more state dollars in a housing trust fund to build more affordable housing.
You know, you need a safe, stable, affordable place to live in order to be safe from crime.
So the two issues, crime and housing, linked in several ways. Bradley's advice to voters asked the candidates how they plan to address more affordable housing across the state. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longnecker, 13 News.